Now, if you've been on social media, you've probably seen the headlines about Cardi B's new album going platinum overnight. And while it sparked a lot of confusion about how this was even possible, here's the thing, Cardi B didn't really go platinum. She's playing the optics game by manipulating a certification loophole to make it look like her album broke records the moment it dropped. And in the process, she's been fooling everyone. But how exactly did she pull it off? Now, Cardi B is a name and face a lot of people recognize. She got her first break back in the Vine era, then blew up on Instagram. From there, she went into reality TV and used that as a stepping stone into music. What started as a social media influencer would eventually be framed as one of the biggest female rappers in the game. Back in 2017, Cardi B broke into the mainstream with Bodak Yellow, a track that copied the rhyme scheme, flow, and cadence of rapper Kodak Black's No Flockin' song. The following year, she dropped her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, and suddenly Cardi B was being put in the same conversations as one of the greatest female rappers in this era, Nicki Minaj. Ever since then, the music industry has been heavily trying to push Cardi B in the mainstream, and while she's very successful, I'll give her that, the reality is things haven't played out that smoothly. After Invasion of Privacy, she rode that wave for years and did drop a couple massive singles like Up and WAP, featuring Megan Thee Stallion, but for the most part, she didn't release another full body of work until very recently. 7 years later, Cardi B finally came back with her second album, Am I the Drama? Within 24 hours of its release, headlines started flying across social media. Cardi B's album had allegedly gone platinum overnight, but that's of course not the full story. Now, this was reported by the RIAA itself. That's the Recording Industry Association of America. They're the organization that certifies albums as gold or platinum. Cardi B has been rejoicing in this win, and of course her fans are celebrating along with her. But here's the thing, her album going platinum is only half the story, okay? On the two last tracks of this album, Cardi B included WAP and Up. WAP, I'm sure everybody remembers, the wet ass pussy record that dropped back in 2020. Some people call it a sex-positive female empowerment anthem. I always thought it was just a raunchy, catchy song. Either way, it went on to become one of the most sexually explicit songs in history to ever top the Billboard Hot 100, and it was undeniably a huge hit. Then in 2021, she dropped Up, which also became a smash single. Now fast forward to today, Cardi B added both of these songs to her second album, and because of the way the RIAA's certification rules work, all the streams and sales of those singles have racked up over the last 4 or 5 years, automatically counted toward the album's certification. Now, to be precise, it's not that the previous streams count towards the first week sales, they don't, but they do count towards getting the album platinum stamped. And just to put it in numbers so you understand, for an album to go platinum off of streaming alone, it takes 1.5 billion streams. That's why it was able to go platinum overnight, not because a bunch of people suddenly streamed the album on day one, but because the certification system allows artists to attach old hits and instantly boost the numbers. This is what we call catalog manipulation in the music industry, creating the illusion of a huge new win by leaning on old success. And Cardi B's not the first person to do it. Plenty of artists have used this loophole to boost their sales and get a bunch of certifications. But the difference is when it happens with Cardi B, the headlines make it sound like she just made history overnight, when really it's just her, gaming the system. And here's the thing, Cardi B has been planning to do this way before this album even dropped. Back in June, she tweeted, "This will be the last and only time I'm going to address this. WAP and Up are two of my biggest songs. My fans have been asking me to put them on an album, and people search for them all the time. They deserve a home. I let haters make me not submit WAP for the Grammys, and at this point, I'm giving my fans what they want. These two songs don't even count for first week sales. So, what are y'all even crying about? Do you say anything when all these artists pull out all their little tricks and ponies to sell out? Exactly. Now let them eat cake, go cry about it." So the question is, why would she actually do this? Well, the main reason is headlines. Cardi B has been going heavy, okay? Emphasis on heavy on the marketing for this album, which she obviously should, okay? There's nothing wrong with promoting your own work. She's partnered with Walmart, DoorDash, and a bunch of other companies to push the project. And she's been out in the streets promoting it in ways that honestly were pretty creative and out of the box, so I can definitely respect that. But the reality is she needed this album to perform well, not just sales wise but optics wise, because Cardi B is one of those artists fueled by how things look than how they actually are, and those platinum overnight headlines are the perfect illusion to keep her brand relevant. The second reason is label pressure. Her record label has poured in a lot of money into her in general, and they need her to deliver. Also, let's not forget, even when an artist looks rich or actually is rich and successful, because she actually is rich and she is successful, a lot of them are locked into deal structures that basically make them glorified employees. The classic example is the 360 deal, or what I like to call the slave deal, where the labels take a cut of everything you do, music, tours, brand deals, and even merch. And here's the bigger problem. People aren't just as interested in Cardi B as they used to be. Now, Cardi B is still popular, don't get it twisted, okay? But the conversation around her now are more about her personal life and the drama, am I the drama, she stirs up online, rather than the music itself. This album is supposed to change that. So the people backing her up, her record label, want her to be cemented in the same tier as, let's say, Nicki Minaj. But here's the difference. Cardi B herself has admitted that she only does music for the money.
I like to make money. I don't really give a fuck about being lyrical. I don't give a fuck about this and that. If that shit work for me, I don't care. I like to make shit that's gonna make me fucking money. I like to make shit that's gonna climb me on the charts. Like, that's what I want. I want to be up top of the charts. I want to make money. I don't care about none of that shit.
There's nothing wrong with, chasing the bag, okay? But it does make her less authentic compared to Nicki Minaj, who's driven by the music itself, because Nicki, she's a true visionary. Keeping Cardi in that conversation with Nicki keeps her on a pedestal she might not fully deserve. That's my opinion. And that's really what this platinum move is about, optics. However, I think more and more people are starting to see through the smoke and mirrors, because with the way social media works now, the access to information that shatters that narrative they're trying to paint is readily available, right? People know when there's trickery and finessery. Did I just create a new term? People know when there's trickery and finessery going on, and that's why I don't think this move will play in Cardi's favor in the long run. Still, at the end of the day, marketing is marketing. She's trying to get to the general public because the casual listener who's not paying attention to what's really going on beyond the headlines will buy all this, right? And in that sense, maybe she wins either way, right? I want to ask you guys a question. Did you hear about this, and were you fooled by Cardi B's little finessery? I literally heard nobody use that word, okay? Finessery. I did that, okay? Like, were you guys fooled by her, finessery here? I have a feeling you weren't. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe for the algorithm, and I'll catch you out tomorrow with a video on David. We got some things to talk about, man. Anyway, have a good Friday, okay? And stay tuned for that David video. Take care of yourself, and I am out, man. Peace.